Welcome to the Church of Rat. Pull up a pew. I'm on a mission to beat the bot algorithm, and in Bloomburrow the answer turned out to be rats. These little guys got me to 76% win rate, and I'm going to teach you how to use them as well. If you enjoy drafting, then please subscribe to the channel. I put out regular guides, and I'll be covering Aether Drift when it releases as well. Okay, so the deal with Quick Draft is that you're drafting against bots, not people. What this means is that the bots have an invisible pick order that they use to decide what cards to take. Except it's not actually invisible because we have community data like 17 lands. So the secret sauce is when you find an archetype that both wins a lot and is undervalued by the bots. One way to quickly check this is by comparing signpost uncommons. Here you can see that Tide-Collar Mentor is in the top half of win rate for the signpost uncommons, and yet is passed really late. Its also 5.8 is the second worst next to Stormcatch Mentor. If you want to learn more about going through 17 lands data, then check out my guide here. Another layer to this challenge is that I'm forcing a deck before I sit down to draft. I want less experienced drafters to be able to copy this guide and have success. And to do that, I just want to keep things as simple and on rails as I can. A lot of people replied to my Wilds of Eldraine videos saying they'd given it a go and they ended up winning quite a lot, which is awesome. So this is a nice example of it right here. Scavenger's Talent is the rare and is amazing in squirrel decks, but I'm not interested in drafting squirrels here. I'm looking to draft rats. So instead I take the Lizard Wizard. So the meta for Bloomburrow is basically just tribal, go wide, make big creatures, smash face. I didn't actually have a lot of fun playing that, and I really didn't like it when other people could just do that to me and I would get rolled. Sure, I had some pretty good success playing frogs, but it was just another flavor of the same type of thing. Rats was both good and also just way more fun for me to play. The rat archetype is blue-black control. We're looking to remove all of their threats and crush them under card advantage. Unfortunately, it can be a little bit hard to teach the nuances of playing control. Should you be taking some damage to hold up a counterspell in the hope that they play a big creature? When do you save that piece of removal and hope that you can trade off with the creature later on? Teaching those nuances are beyond the scope of this video, but if it's something you'd be interested in, then tell me. For now, just focus on thinking as far ahead as you can as you're playing. Try and plan future turns and what they might be doing as you make your decisions. The first draft I did is probably the best example of this deck that I got. Now, apart from Season of Lost, which is an amazing card, everything else in here is a common or uncommon. We've got multiple cheap value creatures that we're happy to trade off just to slow down the game and fill the graveyard. We have some premium removal spells in Fell and Savor. We have amazing draw spells in Pearl of Wisdom and Spellgyre, who knows. But what was kind of lacking in some of my other drafts that I think was really tied this together was a combination of bounce and counter spells. Into the Flood mod did a lot of work, and Dire Downdraft was also great. Follow it up with Dazzling Denial and Spellgyre to tie it all off. You're really trying to get to the position where you've removed everything, you have one threat on board, and you have a counter spell in hand, so you can safely close the game out. I just want to explain some of the less obvious cards in the archetype. Daggerfang Duo is great at kind of greasing the engine. It fills the graveyard, trades with most things, and can be gotten back with recursion spells and lands to really annoy your opponent. Bartform Harvester was mostly decking insurance for me, and I never actually got close enough to require it, but it's something to keep in mind because this colored pair can be quite light on good flying or reach creatures and is in danger of drawing too many cards. Bellowing Crier is really solid in this deck, surprisingly more so than Pawn Prophet, even though that just draws a card. That's because rats care more about trading off their creatures and filling the graveyard than they do about the raw card advantage you would get from flickering or recasting this frog over and over again. Ruthless Negotiation is a really good card anyway, but especially so in this archetype because you were looking to really choke our opponent on resources. It's worth keeping an eye out for a few of the lands. Hidden Grotto Surveilling 1 is great for fixing your draws and also just filling the graveyard for your threshold cards. And Mudflat Village being able to recur your value creatures is amazing as the game goes on. If you happen to get any spicy rares, you can get them back, or you can just keep recurring things that trade up for value. Shoreline Looter looks kind of unassuming, but it's amazing in this deck. It does everything you want, and you should pick them very highly. Vren is a mythic power card hidden in a rare card's body. I did some truly disgusting things with them, and if my opponent somehow dealt with it, then I could just bring it back from the graveyard somehow. There's a few obviously strong cards that I haven't talked much about, like Downwind Ambusher, Wix Patrol, and Daring Wave Rider, but I'm not going to waste your time by going over them in full detail. Thanks again for all the love on the series, subscribe for more, and check out my other videos here.